As an incident commander, one of the things they tell you is to get out in the field, because you're in this base camp making all these decisions and you really don't know what they're doing out there. So I was able to take a ride out in the field finally, and what really struck me was there was a house in a tree, and houses are supposed to be on the ground, and there was areas where, like on fires, where the house burns, but there's still the concrete foundation. There was about 6 or 7 homes where we saw no concrete, and there were homes there, there were families there, there was people there, and one of the survivors of it was telling us a story where she opened the door to her room, going, "Hey, Mom, Dad, what's going on? What is this noise?" And that's the last thing she remembered, was opening her bedroom door, and then she ended up getting swept away. Her family alone lost, I don't know, three people, I think, in her family, and she ended up going down river, if you will, with this mud flow, and ended up grabbing onto this tree that was about 3 or 4 feet in diameter and just hanging on to it as she's getting bombarded, hit by cars and trees and boulders, and she was hanging onto the tree by her house, and all of a sudden the tree lifted up and started moving. So this mud and debris flow picked up the tree and started moving. So she hung on to the tree as long as she could until she got flown off of the tree and ended up on the bank of somebody's house. And so she was yelling and screaming. People above her heard her, and that was like one of the first rescues that was done, was her. Another one was a girl named Morgan that was holding hands with her mom. And so all these things are very surreal and just blows your mind that these things happen. But she was hanging on to her mom's hands, and they were wondering what's going on. They had twin girls as well. And all of a sudden the house just imploded. And so Morgan and her mom were hanging on to each other. And the mom said, hang on, Morgan. And I don't know how far it was, but she lost Morgan. So the mom ended up slamming into someone's living room. And she broke her legs, broke her arms, and she's laying there on the ground. And then the guy comes out of the second story of his house and looks down, and there's that lady, the mom, in his house. And then he looks up, and then there's just mud and debris and boulders going through his house. So that was surreal. That's just crazy. Morgan didn't make it, and the 2 twin girls that didn't make it either. So it's really sad. Yeah, it's just crazy, surreal stuff, And one of our battalion chiefs had that family over his house the week prior to, and it's really sad. So that personal connection with some of the families is what we were talking about earlier. So it was a tough call.